back to the channel. It seems like I haven't made a video in a minute, but I can assure you I've been working super hard trying to get this drum take down. So I was going to do 2 in one video, but that was a little too ambitious, I've discovered. And this one was hard enough for me. It's been, I guess this is the 4th day in a row. And I thought I would be recording a take last night for sure, but just got bogged down. But all the hard work is worth it, because when I came in here, I think the 3rd time I played it through, I got a take, you know, that I feel good about. So now it's just a matter of trying to beat it on camera. That's what I usually try to do. I used to just start recording, but ended up making these really long videos, and it seemed frustrating to watch. So what I've got going is moving this bass pedal over. It's off to the one side. Hold on one second. It's kind of like crooked. Whole bass is moving a little bit for some dumb reason. Okay, I've got 4 mics. If you haven't ever seen me do this before, I've got 4 microphones. One of them is this bass drum mic. It's a CAD, forgot the name of it, but it's just a bass drum mic, a cheap one. And it comes out of there, goes straight into the Zoom channel 4, track 4, right? Next one is, we'll say, this one here, which is out of frame, I guess, because it's below these toms. But it's just one of these mics aimed towards the bass drum and towards kind of this side of the kit, the right side of the kit. This one's sort of more aimed towards the left side of the kit and going straight down. This one is attached to track 3, goes right into channel 3, channel strip 3. This one goes into 2, and they're equidistant. So what I do is I put this stick here, put this stick on top of it. There's about, I don't know, almost an inch between the drumstick and the capsule. And I'm going to come down here, or the head, the screen, and this one is about the same. This one's a tiny bit more. I might have bumped it when I got up. There, that looks good. And that looks good. So what I'm looking for is the distance to be the same. You can't move. So when you put this down on the snare head, you put this on top of it, and you measure here, then I'm just going to tilt to this one and get the same measurement, have the same distance between the stick and the front of the microphone, so that I know that the signal, the sound, is reaching these 2 microphones at the same time, instead of there being a delay, which causes an out-of-phase problem. Next, I have this, what do you call it? Large diaphragm condenser. It's an AKG P220. I have it on minus 20 dB because the snare is loud. And then I have it, got this little stick back here that has all my measurements. This is 3 inches, so I just line it up from the edge of the snare, slightly aim towards the snare head, and that is the setup. Then I'm going to put my earplugs in. Even though I'm listening to the music, the earplugs take, you know, like 5 dB off the top, a little bit of the harshness of the, you know, all the high end that's coming through when you're playing drums, the cymbals and the hi-hats. Just got to protect those ears as much as possible. And I've done okay with my ears, and I've been doing this for a long time, touring in front of, you know, full stacks and all that kind of stuff, just by wearing earplugs, you know, as much as I can. Sometimes you can't. And when you're on stage, close to the cabinets, it's kind of underneath you, you know. It's the audience that's really getting hammered with, you know, back in the day when it was all these 4x12s everywhere. Okay. Okay, I gotta rearm it. I'm turning up my guide track so I can hear it. Rearming everything, because I just played the track that I just recorded back. Got 4 tracks. Everything's in mono, but you could split these out. I'll split them later, after I record it. Okay, back in the day when it was tape, you would split it ahead of time. Like 40 this way, 40 that way, just to get more of a stereo split. But I'm going to do it later in the mix, doesn't matter. Okay, alright, I think I'm ready. I've got my levels, so 100 on 3 of these. This mic, and this mic I have at 100. My gain on 4 is at about at 2 o'clock. Gain on 3 is about 2 o'clock. Gain on 2 is about 3 o'clock. Gain on number 1 is almost nothing. it's all the way down to like, 8 o'clock. And then my channel strip is on 35. The rest of them are 100. Let's see, and you can discover all this by using PaniQ. The master's at 100, and I've got a guide track turned up, pretty hot so that I can hear the guitar that I laid down. I can look over here and watch the metronome, make sure that I'm not getting off tempo. So those are the tools I use. Then when I'm done, I take my guitar here, play it along, make sure that it's correct. Okay, so let's see if I can top that last one. I would have done 2 of them, but you can only store 1 in the Zoom anyway. I would have tried to top it one more time, but let's just do it now. Try to get the excitement level up, get mentally prepared. All right, here we go. Record, play. And I also have to kind of guess when the stick clicks come in, because I made the stick click noise on the guitar, so it's like chuck, 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 chuck. So I've got to kind of feel it, so I stick click in the right spot. Doesn't really matter if it's not perfect, but it's kind of awkward and stupid to watch somebody stick click out of time. All right, here we go. was letting the cymbals fully decay to 350. The song will end, you know. I'll fade the cymbals. Okay. That wasn't terrible. I don't know that it beat the first one, but at least I was able to get to a take on camera, which was kind of the goal. So, let me just review really quickly, sorry. Hopefully you can hear me out there. Got 4 microphones, bass drum mic connected to track 4 at 100 with the gain at about 2. Number 3 mic, which is this, you know, the other part of the overhead, even though it's kind of low. That's going into number 3. Track is at 100. Channel strip is at 100. Gain is at about 2 o'clock. This one here, same idea, going into track 2. Channel's at 100. Gain is at 2 or 3. And then finally, this one goes into the Rain MS1B. I've got it turned down pretty low, but the phantom power is on. Better phantom power on that thing. The phantom power on the Zoom's not that great. The channel strip's all the way down to 35, so there's no peaking. And I'll be checking the lights as I play back the track to make sure there's no peaking, because then it's worthless. And the gain is all the way down to like 8 o'clock. It's barely on. So, that's how I do it. 4 tracks of drums, and then, once I'm done, I go into Audacity and I just do a couple things. One, a high-pass filter, but I only cut it to very little. I don't cut way down to like 100 or anything like that. Just very little. I've learned that taking too much away kind of kills the, you know, the bass vibe. And then I might boost it, like say it needs to go up 3 dB, 5 dB, something like that. Might even need to come down a little bit. And then that's it. And then the other main thing that I do is I'll name it. So this will be called snare drum. This will be called left overhead, right overhead, bass drum. You know, right? I'll type it in when I'm in the computer. You know, because I've got the ability to name the tracks now. Once I make a copy and drag it into audio, I'm gonna, after it's in the audio and I've got it sitting there, I'm gonna go back to the computer, rename it like snare drum number 2 or whatever. Drag that in. Now I have 2 versions of this recorded snare. I'll do that with each one. 2 versions of this, 2 versions of this, 2 versions of that. Now I have 8 tracks of drums, and I'm going to put them on my last row, 17 through 24. And that's where the drums sit. That's how I do it. And it just seems to work well. Adding those additional drums just gives it a more robust, dynamic presentation. You get more slam, more snare, like crack. I really like to hear, you know, crack and snare, have it prominent in the mix. Really should be like the loudest thing. The guitar and the snare should be sitting there, you know, as the main loudest things, and you should be able to hear both of them. I hate it when you have to get really loud on guitar for some reason, and it wipes out the snare, or the snare does, you know, usually it's the snare getting wiped out. If you have a really good drum tone, a lot of times it's because the guitars aren't super loud. Okay, so that one's down. Now, and the whole time I've been doing this, not for the past 3 nights. The past 3 nights have been really razor focused on this, or laser focused on this. But I'm quickly shifting to Exciter, the other song that I have. So this one's called Try On My Life. That one's called The Exciter. And I really like having a couple tunes to record. And if I can hurry up and get this other song finished, I'll go ahead and get the drums for that one too. I'll debut that tune and show everybody the idea behind it, and then start recording the drums. Alright, so I have my headphones back here. I've got everything plugged in. I'll get some shots on camera just so you can see what everything looks like and what it'll look like for you if you want to do this, because I'm telling you, it's so much better to have, I mean, if you're doing rock and roll or folk rock or funk or whatever, it's something that needs like a real band with real drums. There's nothing like it, you know. You can't quite get the feel from like programming drums, unless you're going for a programmed drum sound, which is totally fine, like electronic bands, you know, do that, and it's totally acceptable. It makes sense for the music. But if you want like a rock and roll drum tone, it's kind of cool to just play it yourself. Plus, if you play it yourself, it'll have that real feel. You know, it won't have such a mechanical feel. It'll have all the screw-ups of a human doing it, especially one like me. All right, so hopefully everyone out there is doing great. with their projects. If there's anything I can do, please reach out, because it can get complicated trying to figure out how to use these things. And there's just a couple little tweaks that elevate the machine from just, piece of plastic to something you can make your record on. All right, next time.